The next best of three is going to feature Evil Murkies and TeamLiquid. The Murkies were just able to take down the Russian team Google, and we are going into another series where TeamLiquid here at the second qualifier for DreamHack Valencia now has another shot to qualify for the first EU regional. And, well, TeamLiquid, they definitely watched the last few games. They know the Murkies well. They start things off with the Sonya ban, since they know very well that, first of all, it will probably result in them getting either free Illidan or him being banned out, and the Murkies, crazy as it is, actually allow Illidan to go through even with a Sonya first ban. I don't even think that TeamLiquid thought they would be able to make that work. I personally believe that TeamLiquid banned Sonya because they know that the Murkies really favor her as a first big hero. So, Antti, what do you think about that? Because that's kind of nuts, right?
I mean, I guess the TeamLiquid ban was going to be Sonya beforehand, but Evil Murkies just, I don't know, it's really crazy for me to just then ban out the Kelters and leave Illidan open, because I know for a fact that like Shad and those guys can play Illidan, and they played it already.
But look at TeamLiquid. They're actually like, this is a trap, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is a trap. Something's going on here. We ban Sonya and they don't ban Illidan.
Oh,
and
what?
they actually go for Falstad. Alright. This is gonna be a fun one.
I don't see that one, to be honest. Like, I would have seen Illidan, and then maybe, like, I don't know, go force it later and not be scared, and
I don't
yeah.
like it either. Like with Sonya banned, like my first impulse would have been to go straight for Illidan. I think they should have done that. It really feels to me that they were scared of some kind of counter draft here. And with the players that they have in their setup, I thought TeamLiquid would jump on the chance to take Illidan. They didn't, and now all of a sudden the Murkies have him with Rhaegar on top of that. So, yeah, TeamLiquid, they have to deal with it somehow.
I think TeamLiquid just outdrafted themselves here. I don't know. Like, I saw that ban phase a lot already, to ban out the Sonya, force the Illidan ban, and get the Katie, right? That's the,
Yeah.
you know, the mindset behind that. But then I saw people rather banning Katie. We saw that on the Global Championship when MYI played MVP Black. The exact same one. MYI banned Sonya. No, who was it? MVP Black banned Sonya, and then MYI decided to not ban out the Katie, but rather instead banned out, I think it was Falstad, and then they had to go for Vikings, and then MVP Black got Illidan, and that's not really what you want, right? When a Korean team has Illidan. But going back to this draft, right?
Yeah,
it's also pretty insane versus the Murkies.
There's quite a couple of mind games that you can play definitely during the first early draft phases. And right now with Sonya being banned, I really thought it's not only like basically like dare you don't ban Illidan, we're going to show you, but also like taking Sonya away from the Murkies. And now that kind of backfired a little bit. It's not that TeamLiquid's draft is bad though right now. I mean, we're looking at a Greymane for real damage. The Falstad on Cursed Hollow is going to give you so much control. ETC is always a monster. I suppose that we will see Tacita being banned out here. But thinking about it, we could actually also, instead of like Tacita ban, maybe even see an Abathur ban here, considering how like fond the Evil Murkies are of Abathur in the first place. And it's basically one of those exchangeable heroes that you oftentimes see. You either are going for a composition with Illidan main heal plus Tacita, or you try to drop the Abathur in. And, well, let's face it, Abathur actually gets quite a bit of value on Cursed Hollow.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see it against Falstad though, because Falstad can counter soak and maybe even go for the kills when he tries to soak. I don't agree on the Uta ban here. I would have rather seen like a ban maybe on another like tank or like a utility hero rather, like maybe ban Tyrande and then pick either Abathur or Tacita. And I think the Murkies are just straight up picking Tacita here.
Yep.
Liquid has to have something prepared here.
TeamLiquid does exactly what I said. They ban out the Abathur, so they allow Tacita. But, I mean, no matter what you go for here, you end up with an Illidan that is empowered by a lot of heroes. So, Sylvana's already chosen. First of all, it's a nice interrupt against the potential mosh pit. It's great in these fights as well, overall. But it's also taking another tool away from TeamLiquid that they could potentially use to put pressure on Illidan. It's a bit unlikely, I want to say, that TeamLiquid would have really picked up Sylvana, since they already have Greymane plus Falstad.
I want to see Arthas here, by the way.
But there's still some things, like the Murkies have a very, very nice engage comp now, and of course they pick Tacita. And Arthas would be a good choice. Have additional lockdown, you're totally right about that.
Yeah, Liquid picking up the Arthas here would be insane against Illidan, and I don't really want them to see picking up another squishy hero. You don't want to go like for, let's say, triple backline, it's pretty bad against Illidan, and then having the silence on Sylvanas as well to complement Illidan's diving skills. I don't really want to go up against that with triple range, and they go for the Arthurs as I already mentioned, and they should most likely pick up the Monk here. They have potentially 3 melee heroes with Greymane, right? So the Echo of Heaven maybe even is going to give a lot of value.
Yeah, I would definitely go for a Monk here too. What else are you going to go for? I mean, you're not going to play Lily solo, I want to say. We've seen Lilies against Illidan, but usually was always in a double support combo when you can get a bit more value out of a Water Dragon as well at times, so that could work. There's the Charism, as expected. Don't really think you had too many options here. And
also, to note, just quick, Charism should probably go into the Satin-sided Strike. Against Illidan, going Divine Palm isn't really that great, because once you resurrect, you're just going to die again, because Illidan is just chasing you down. It's not like the Evil Murkies have a lineup which just has burst, and after that burst, there's not any damage for, let's say, like 10 more seconds, because they're waiting for cooldowns. So Charism should probably go into the 7-sided, and against a noob and Illidan, it's pretty great, because you can burst those rather squishier tanks down with your with the help of your backline.
I'm not 100% certain if I'm sold on the Anubarak here. There is still Muradin around that they could have gone for.
Yeah.
We've seen Tyrael comms for super aggression. In this case, I don't really think it works as well because you don't have the Abathar copy. But Anubarak is quite on the squishy side, and he goes up against an Arthurs and against an ETC. So I'm not 100% certain if I like that pick too much. Muradin might have been the better option here. And I feel Anubarak is also forced to go for Locust Swarm. A Cocoon would make him even squishier. And that is also going to make the interrupts against ETC not as easy as you might think. So, interesting pick for the Murkies. But, well, guys, game number 1 is going to start in a moment. We have Cursed Hollow coming up between TeamLiquid and Evil Murkies, the first map in a best of 3 here in the second round of the DreamHack Valencia qualifier number 2. Game number 1 in the best of 3, the Evil Murkies against TeamLiquid. To the left side of the map, the French team, we have Q on Tassadar, we have Danatan on Anubarak, Tic Tac on Sylvanas, Lothair on Rhaegar, and Arcane is playing Illidan. And well, to the right side of the map currently, the red team, TeamLiquid, they are running Chris on Falstad, we have Sport Billy on Greymane, Charism played of course by Gadam here, the support player for the team, and Shad and Ethero building the front line here with Arthurs and ETC. TeamLiquid, they didn't qualify in the first qualifier for DreamHack Valencia, which was of course quite a bit of an upset. Now they are trying to make it happen in the second attempt, and we're going to find out if they can actually make that work. The Evil Murkies, on the other hand, already showed some very nice play here, and it's going to be an interesting game, Antihero. Also, a bit of an adjustment if you're looking at Illidan here with the Battle Assault as the level 1 talent.
I'm really mind blown by that talent. I don't really see it working that well. Why would you take that one? I mean, you can hit multiple melee heroes with that one, but Immolation is just giving you a lot of AoE, and against 4 melee heroes you can just use it quite a bit for the damage output. And Danafal and the mid already almost falling here.
Yeah, and one of the things that of course also speaks in favor of Immolation is that you have additional wave clear, which can be quite nice if you find yourself on a lane alone for a moment, so they can burst the wave down.
I mean, we're still in the phase of seeing how Shad works on those second tank melee assassin heroes, and Ethero back to main tank is a move I wanted to see since a long time, because he was one of the more dominant tanks in Europe. But he had to swap roles a little bit when he played for Fnatic, so seeing him on tank is really refreshing for me, and I think he can pull off some nice plays.
One of the things that's also quite interesting to note here, talking about Evil Murkies for a moment and about TeamLiquid, is that you're actually seeing Rhaegar going into the electric charge, so the increased rate is on the lightning shield. I have to admit I haven't seen that talent in a long time. We have already Tic Tac being chased here in the Sylvanas, but yeah, so they really want to make sure that Arcane on his Illidan is getting max value in these fights.
Yeah, again, against those 4 melee heroes, I don't necessarily see the need to take that electric charge talent, because you're sticking quite well onto the melee heroes with Illidan, and it kind of feels like Evil Murkies have some weird talent choices on level 1 in particular.
Yeah, I would totally agree on that. I actually feel we're going to find out in this game now how that's going to work out for them. It's a bit more standard when we're looking at TeamLiquid. We see on level 1 Eternal Hunger taken for Arthurs. I would say if you talk about talent choices that are a little bit, they are maybe a bit out of the norm, then that's the the one that's the most interesting, but it's not like we haven't seen it before. So Arthur still is playing it fairly standard, whereas the Evil Murkies have definitely a few odd talents there. I like, though, that we have an immediate go for that Night Camp. So we have a Night Camp to push the mid lane. Lothair is currently trying to time the Siege Giant camp with the Tribute. So already, teams preparing for Tribute number 1 on the map.
Yeah, the Night Camp is always the more safer option because it's independent whether the Tribute spawns at the top or the bottom. You see, Lothair was a little bit lucky here that the Tribute again spawned on the bottom and that the Easy Camp is going to do a lot of pressure here. But Chris being at the top is also fairly lucky, I would say, that he has the potential to fly down to the Tribute after clearing the Siege Camp here. And it seems like Evil Murkies just want to stall a little bit and give up the Tribute because they don't really see themselves winning in the early game.
Yeah, we have Gerd channeling it through, biting cold now on Arthur's as well. We see the Eyes in the Dark for Greymane, Static Shield for Falstad. So overall, people just going for more or less standard talents on level 4 at this point. Even going straight for the Protective Shield here for Charism. It's really just the attempt to get a bit of value out of that push in the top lane that sticks out right now. The Evil Murkies with that Sylvanas push, making sure that they disable all of the structures. It gives them 2 of the towers, but a nice move by Athero. Gets 3 stuns in. Gerd is jumping in. They want their kill. They might not get it though. The Murkies are retreating and they got the structure, so that's a bit of a win at the top lane for them.
Yeah, we probably should see someone taking the easy camp for TeamLiquid now. They should rotate down to that one now, so they can get a little bit of pressure again for the next Tribute phase. But it seems like they're a little bit slacking on that one now. And I could also see Rega just going for a hard camp with Sylvanas, but now after the top lane action, it's too late and the Tribute is spawning already, and we see Evil Murkies in position, and Force at the top is not going to soak a whole lot here, and I think we might see a little bit of a fight here.
Yeah, Danatan, by the way, goes for a very sustainable talent build right now on his Anubarak, going for not only Regeneration Master, but also double Beetles on 4 and 7 with Leeching Scarabs now, and he will need it as the main tank here. Illidan is already doing Illidan things, Arcane is on the hunt here, but the Tribute therefore channeled through, so Tribute for each one of these teams. And it's definitely an interesting lineup. I like that Danatan is actually changing things up a little bit to make sure that he can survive longer, but it's still a huge liability to go for Anubarak as the solo tank here, and TeamLiquid is going to look to punish them for it later on in the game, especially of course with that heavy frontline that they've been building.
I would like to see Shad going for the ghouls at level 10, for the Army of the Dead, because I think he's the biggest part of winning the game for TeamLiquid. He can peel the Illidan, he can peel the Anub off their backline, and I think that's the one player they have to play around with their lineup. And I mean, you can have a good mosh pit and stuff like that, but having the more reliable damage and peel and slow with the Arthas is pretty important here.
I'm wondering if Cleanse was really a necessary choice for Gerd on 7 with his
I don't think so.
Like,
I mean, it can cleanse the silence as well, but
yeah,
I think, right? Yeah.
Depending on what you're afraid of, if you're afraid that Illidan goes for Hunt like Jove did in the earlier game that we saw here today, you can just like hold back level 7 for a bit and wait for the ult to come in. It's a bit unlikely, I would say, that we are seeing with this setup Hunt taken now, but I really think the extra heal might have been a better choice here. But they might be just too afraid to lose one of their heroes at the front line because of a lockdown, but let's see how that's going to work out for them. It's definitely one of the choices that I found a bit odd when it first came into play, but let's see how much value he actually gets out of it.
We also see the rune tap on level 7 on Arthas, and it's a really good pickup overall. It's a little bit slightly better making the math on this talent than the additional Q talent on level 7 for Arthas. You get more, if you get more auto attacks off, especially against Illidan, that's quite possible, right? Then it's a little bit better, so Shad really knowing what to take in what situation, and let's see what he goes for level 10. They could also go into the Syndragosa and just try to lock Illidan down even further.
And both of the teams are now on level 10, and as expected, we see Metamorphosis. We also have the 7-sided strike. We've been talking about it during the draft. We're having the Wailing Arrow plus Locust Swarm for Anubarak. Kind of what he has to go for. And Arthur's with the Legion, so making sure that he, or the Army of the Dead, sorry, making sure that he has that sustain during those fights. And well, we have another Tribute battle, and this could be a curse if TeamLiquid is able to pick up the third Tribute. The lockdown against the noob, the stun comes in, he's very low, drops the Legion, there's the Ancestral on him, not on Illidan. The Silence Arrow wasn't well placed. Arcane goes in, is low though, but so is everybody on TeamLiquid's lineup.
Spot Billy. or he gets the last second shield, and Arakin might place onto Shad, but I don't think they will get a kill out of that. And Arakin shows he doesn't really need that Ancestral. He played really well with his Metamorphosis, dodging a lot of abilities here. And we didn't even see ETC use his Mosh Pit. That was a deciding factor in that fight.
That was actually like a really scary fight for TeamLiquid because it looked for a long time like either Sport Billy or Gerd would die. They both survived in the end, but that was a very scary moment for them. They lost the Tribute, so right now Falstad flying in, trying to see if he can maybe isolate Illidan. That doesn't work for them, but they're doing as much as they can right now to at least maintain control of the map. That last fight was definitely a bit of a wake-up call, I feel, because the one thing that we definitely saw there is that now with the Horric abilities, with well-timed abilities here, especially with that Wailing Arrow, there's definitely potential for the Evil Murkies to snowball a fight.
Yeah, Arakin trying to go for the hard camp here. It will take him a little bit longer since he went for that adjustment on level 1, not taking the immolation. And we see Gadamhead and Billy taking the hard camp on the other side, and they will try to look forward to get a little bit of pressure onto the mid lane and just wait for the next tribute, which is going to be a deciding factor, 2-2 for both sides here.
The next tribute is definitely going to open up a lot of possibilities for the winning team. The team that wins the tribute, that is. Unless, of course, they lose a few heroes here and cannot really push with it, which is a bit unlikely. But let's see how exactly this is going to work out now. Siege Giant's taken at the right moment, but of course the tribute spawning at the bottom to make sure that they don't get the best value out of it. Once again, the team is just like dancing around the area. Gerd already attempting the channel. Shad is zoning, and Nuburak is already low. Last time that Ancestral was placed on him, Illidan didn't necessarily need it because of good Metamorphosis. This fight might be different. Both of the teams not with level 13 yet and just dancing around here.
Oh, and Gerd gets a tribute here, and if Evil Murkies decide to fight here and win the fight, it might look really bad for TeamLiquid since they're already wasting time on a curse here.
It was actually a very nice Mighty Gust. What Chris was trying to do is buy them time to get the tribute channel through. Illidan jumped over it, but that's exactly the problem that we have been highlighting earlier. There's the kill against the Nuburak. He is down, and with him being dead and Falstad flying right away to the top, with now the bot lane being pushed thanks to those Siege Giants, all of a sudden, Evil Murkies are losing a lot of ground on the map.
Yeah, it's always a risky spot if you're taking a fight with the curse up for your team. Because if you lose it, it's going to be a wasted curse, and looking at Evil Murkies, they already have two tributes. But winning that fight, or rather just killing off Danatan here, gave them a lot of momentum onto the map, and we see them already taking down the fort in the middle, and they're heading straight for the keep. I don't think they're going to take it, but they're just looking forward to take maybe one turret or even more than that.
Even just the lead in experience is already a big win for them. Bot lane has been defended. Danatan actually trying to engage here. ETC needs to be careful, but there's also the potential for a turnaround with the Mosh Pit. Athero using the power slide though, that puts in cooldown. Will of the Forsaken has been claimed on 13 as well now, so a bit of a panic button moment here for Sylvanas. Falstad up at the top lane. I mean, overall, when we're looking at the setup here, it's still very even experience. It's just really the structural advantage that we're now seeing for TeamLiquid. And it's going to be an exchange of bosses at this point.
Yeah, since the curse is going on, let's call it cooldown for a little bit now, taking both bosses here will not result in any team getting a curse, like Evil Murkies said is in this case. And Chris is just taking the boss at the top, making his team able to rotate a little bit quicker, but they're not able to contest the boss at the bottom. And we will probably see a trade in bosses, and we see Sylvanas on the side of Evil Murkies, so that can be quite dangerous if TeamLiquid misplace a little bit.
And Illidan is actually placing a lot of faith here in his sweeping strikes. Elusive Strike has now been claimed on level 13 for him as well. Seven-sided right into Rhaegar's face. He's nearly dying, has to retreat for a moment. TeamLiquid is low though. The Mighty Gust into the corner. There comes the Mosh Pit. Mosh is in. The stun comes out. Gerd is keeping everyone alive for now at least. But Arakin is on the hunt. He's going in and he's going for Sport Billy. That's the first death. Greyman is down. Athero is falling. And this is the power of Illidan.
Wow. Oh, Gerd makes it all alive. Oh no, Danatan! Danatan really...
He really wanted him. Yeah. And now
really
they can push with Sylvanas.
He really didn't give a damn about the turrets there. And with Sylvanas, they just neglect everything. And look at the boss, it's quite healthy. So the Evil Murkies might even go for something here. They also will get the level 60 talents here. And this looks quite dangerous for TeamLiquid. 3 people still dead, and the boss is just like wreaking havoc on the structure still. And Arakin just going for it already. But Tic Tac going and getting engaged, getting the Ancestral.
Illidan is on the core though. 16 is ready now. We will have a Mighty Gust in 5 seconds. Everybody else is already back to business and starting to slide
60%.
in. The Nubarak is already dead. They're trying to
Boss
go in, but
going
the boss is on the core now. It's 36 points. The boss is
Illidan's
going to
still
finish it.
healthy.
The boss, can he finish it?
Wow.
Yeah, this is it. TeamLiquid loses game number 1 against the Evil Murkies after a lost fight here. 3 kills against 3, and this is the 1-0 lead for the Evil Murkies here at the qualifier. The Evil Murkies are in the lead again, this time against TeamLiquid. That's something that a lot of people didn't really see coming. TeamLiquid probably, didn't see that coming either, especially from how the last game went. TeamLiquid lost in the first qualifier, and now they are 1 map away from being eliminated again. So guys, Evil Murkies on Sky Temple, they can make it happen. They can advance to the next rounds. Not qualify for DreamHack Valencia just yet, but that would be a major step, of course, for them towards that goal. This time, TeamLiquid doesn't hesitate. They ban out Illidan here, as the Murkies are getting rid of Khaldor in the draft. And we are in for a pretty interesting match right now, because for TeamLiquid, there is a lot on the line at this point.
Yeah, if TeamLiquid loses this game, they will have to, if they even get into the last qualifier, right? I mean, they probably will, but we also see Evil Murkies again. First pick Sonya. We've seen that quite a bit already from them.
I mean, it's not only that TeamLiquid, of course, is one of the teams that is like the favorite to advance and qualify for Valencia. It's also there's a lot of pressure on them. I mean, they are the team that is the favorite for the tournament. They are the team that is expected to make it. There's a lot of pressure on them, especially after the recent roster changes and after they always really struggled to make that big leap into the top 3 or top 2 teams in Europe again. So right now, this is starting to become extremely dangerous for them, and it could really be a problem going into this game. They start with an early pick on Rega, very high prioritization on Rega here. Taking it away from, of course, the Sonya draft here. And let's see how exactly they're going to play with it. I'm very curious to see how exactly this is going to go for them, because yeah, they have a lot of proof, a lot to prove right now.
Yeah, TeamLiquid, normally known for their Lost Vikings play by Shad, they really don't pick it up now, and I don't think they will. They should have picked it alongside the Fall set here. United global counter against the Vikings, but we instead see them going for the murder and giving Afero like one of his best heroes, giving them a beefy frontliner already and having interrupt, stun and slow against Sonya's Whirlwind itself, so that's a pretty good pickup here.
And of course Muradin himself, he can like soak the temples quite easily, that's great for them too. The Murkies would be surprised to not see a Tassadar here, they love to play that together with Sonya, but there's a lot of heroes that actually they could prioritize even higher. Fawcett being one of them for the global, Anti-Hero already touched upon that on Sky Temple, but just like in general, he's just amazing with that additional soak that he has and also his ability to fly into the fights. So Tassadar is an option and they go for Tassadar here. And TeamLiquid, they can ban additional frontliners at this point. But they have to really make sure that they are locking this game down, because right now, it's not really all that much that the Clown Fiesta anymore. This is starting to become the Liquid Fiesta, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Liquid should probably ban out the Karazin here and force Evil Murkies into the Uta, and we already talked about that in our last series. Really don't want to have Uta and Tassadar, but we also saw Evil Murkies picking up the Brightwing, but Liquid maybe could also deny that by picking Brightwing and Dragger and go themselves for, let's say, Thrall, and then they would have a global soak with Brightwing, they would have Thrall as a melee assassin, alongside Dragger and Brightwing, then maybe get like even Greymane as a backline in the end to have a lot of pressure against Evil Murkies and a lot of damage and interrupts and CC overall.
Yeah, TeamLiquid definitely have to find some kind of solution here. I mean, you already pointed a few of the things out. They go for the ban on Karazim. I also agree that I think it's really smart here. They had pocket picks in the past that they chose. They played, as you mentioned, Vikings on this map. That's why Evil Murkies are banning him out right away. There is, of course, also the chance that we're going to see Abathar coming back into the draft here. He was banned out on Cursed Hollow, but he's also a hero that oftentimes makes an appearance on Sky Temple. So that's another shot that TeamLiquid has. There's still a couple of heroes around. I mean, Greymane, for example, is still in the draft. We have Li Ming, gets very solid value on Sky Temple too with that poke that she can dish out. ETC is also still around, so there's for both teams still a lot of options of what they can pick here.
Yeah, TeamLiquid really has to decide what they go with, and they go again with the Greymane. I don't really think they had to pick it up now. Because Evil Murkies are not going to pick another ranged assassin. They definitely need a healer and they need a tank. So picking up the Greymane, I mean, they probably want to hide some pick, like their last pick, but they should maybe even deny a further healer and go into the Brightwing. And if you have Brightwing and Murden, and let's say Evil Murkies go into the Tyrande, you don't even have a cleanse.
Yeah.
Do you really want to go into Lily or Malth for the cleanse? Not really.
I'm a little bit scared right now for them. I could still see the Abathur, especially with Greymane. Double Greymane can be quite devastating. Great. So that would also allow them to just soak. Of course, you have to be very careful with the Falster being on the other team. So Abathur is not going to have an easy game if they decide to go for an Abathur here. But as long as they keep close tabs on the minimap and Abathur plays it safe, he should be able to get value for the team. So there's definitely a few things that he can do with that. Ryder, thank you very much for the sub, my friend. Thanks for the support. I have to say that the Lunara is something that I thought about a bit earlier, and I like it. I did not expect them to go for it, but I like the choice here because it puts additional pressure on the supports for Evil Murkies.
It's not really a great pickup for the map, but a really great pickup for the composition here.
Yeah.
On the map, Sky Temple is, I think, the biggest map in the map pool. I'm not 100% on that, and Lunara doesn't have her mount ability. She's a little bit faster on her own, but if you really want to cover those long distances, really struggles, and that's kind of a problem. Let's say you want to rotate down from the top and you think the enemies might do the boss on Sky Temple, man, that's gonna take quite a while to rotate down on the bottom.
Yeah.
But having Lunara against Tassada and probably Uta, but I think Evil Murkies will even go into the Brightwing here, like seeing their past performances. I would really like them to go for the Brightwing.
It would give them a lot of globals, that's for sure. And with Lunara, as you pointed out, like her movement speed could become a bit of a liability. So they really need to make sure that they make calls early so that Lunara can already like be on the way before something happens, so that they know exactly where they want her to be. And if like the Evil Murkies pick a Brightwing here, they have double globals. So that would be definitely something where they can try and just play around TeamLiquid, and they go for it. Double global for them.
And TeamLiquid, this is the problem now. I would have liked to see them pick up the Brightwing, and then even if you have Greymane already, you could still go into the Greymane build with Abathur and Brightwing and Rega. I mean, that's a lot of on Greymane, and you probably could end up throwing the game by putting too much into it, but nonetheless, we see the Abathur.
Yeah, there comes the Abathur in, as kind of expected, so they try to go for the double Greymane. It's definitely them trying to just like force something onto the Murkies. That Lunara is a counter pick, having the Abathur is allowing to sow some experience on the other side of the map. He has to be very careful against Falstad and against Brightwing. There's a lot of globals for the Evil Murkies that will put pressure on him, but he is still he should be able to get some value here, and especially with the copy then later on we're gonna see them try and force these fights. Game number 2 is going to show if TeamLiquid can bounce back into this, or if the Evil Murkies are crushing the dreams of TeamLiquid and take the series with a 2-0. So let's jump right into Sky Temple. Second game is live up and running with Chris on Greymane for TeamLiquid to the left side here on Sky Temple. We have Aethero Angel on Muradin, Shad on Abathur, Sport Billy on Lunara, and Get Amherd is playing Rega. To the right side of the map with a 1-0 lead in the best of 3 series here at the DreamHack Valencia qualifier, it's Q on Tassada, Danatan for the French team on ETC, Lotea on Brightwing, we have Tic Tac on Falstad, and Arcane on Sonya. Once again, they're playing their Sonya game. Once again, they have the Tassada. This time, they rely on Brightwing. A lot of globals for the team here. And TeamLiquid is aiming for the double Greymane, using Lunara also to put additional pressure onto the supports on the side of the Evil Murkies. And they are currently with their back to the wall.
They're looking for a pick-off on... Or maybe scouting out with Abathur and then just for the pressure on all. The Pharaoh already just trying to zone a bit of damage, and pretty important on Sky Temple.
Yeah.
Take down structures.
They put the pressure up to the top. You have to actually adjust your microphone a little bit. You're currently cutting out slightly.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. So Danatan goes for the vision. They didn't really get too much at the top, and they definitely need someone to move down to the bot lane to take over here. Abathur, of course, can soak a bit with his symbiote, but right now they have a 4-man push up at the top, and they isolate Danatan, and they get that early kill. Well done. Whereas Abathur is soaking in the middle with his body, and down to the bottom he was soaking already quite a bit with his symbiote, but they are missing out on the wave at this point, and at that point Shad jumps in to make sure they don't lose too much.
I mean, Shad is pretty comfortable on those specialist heroes, and I mean, we saw him on the Lost Vikings and Everfer a lot. Like, Everfer not really that much in the recent past, but nowadays with the double Greymane composition, he's kind of back into the Everfer kind of playstyle, and at the top we see Billy just going ham on those structures.
Yeah, and Brightwing actually taken down at the bot lane right now. So Brightwing dead, and in this case, it's the second kill for TeamLiquid. They're starting to come back with a vengeance into this one, Antti. I mean, right now, they're looking quite solid here. They have good experience lead, they have a double kill, and they are going for those shrines very early. So, very well played.
And looking at the top now, you see the impact of getting those early structures on top. They already got the wall down with only a couple of shots because they already pushed at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, and now they are claiming another shrine. Of course, Falstaff was trying to take control of the one up at the top, but the earlier level 4 would allow TeamLiquid to push that a bit more aggressively, since they have, of course, the talent lead, and they're locking that in as we speak. Eyes in the Dark also chosen. Soak down at the bottom. Lothair actually trying to put some extra pressure on the towers, but up to the top lane, Muradin took over, and they're fighting for both of the shrines at this point.
Yeah, but the top shrine is already pressuring the fort at the top, and the mid shrine is not going to do a whole lot. And this is one important aspect of Sky Temple. It's kind of nitpicky, but the top temple is going to shoot the fort before it's going to shoot the turret, and Lothar at the bottom going to drop. Yeah. He didn't get his last healing off, and that's already to finish that point. If you go for the top shrine, it's more likely to kill the fort earlier than the mid temple is going to kill the mid fort. So that's pretty important to note, especially going into that we're going to do hard camp situations soon.
One of the things, of course, that speaks in favor of going for the middle first is that if you kill the tower first, you get a bit of experience earlier, and that can help you to reach the next talent level. In this case, putting the pressure on the fort is, of course, looking very strong for them, since they will have Abathur to push the top lane too. And the big question is also still if the level 7 talent might even be the mule, but right now they're going for the damage again, and Brightwing is not falling thanks to the well, but it was very close.
Also, if you saw when the temples finished, it was around 2 minutes 30, and they take 2 minutes to respawn, so approximately in 30 seconds we will see the hard camps been taken by the Evil Murkies and TeamLiquid here, but at the moment using the siege camp, very efficient German team that is, and yeah, just going for the structures here already with the nature sculling as well.
They get mass value out of it, and Shad was hesitating on the level 7 talent. He was thinking about going Mule here, but he decided to go for the Vile Nest instead. He already took on level 4 the global range and the increased duration, so with that he has now a very good tool to just mine all those paths down to the bottom. Just give one example. Both of the teams are on level 4 now, and this is the end of the well too. So that means that there's a lack of sustain right now at the bot lane for the next temple fight, and that is going to be absolutely crucial when the next temple is going to be activated. So already a very early lead here for TeamLiquid that could result in them taking a snowball in this particular match.
Yeah, TeamLiquid not that far ahead with the experience, but they indeed have quite a lead on structures. The top fort almost down, the bottom fort exposed, the mid fort also kinda exposed, and yeah, the global soak of Abathur is going to help them a whole lot.
Yeah, right now we see a level 8 versus 7, there's the temple activated, Muradin is already on the point, and yeah, they know they can't really force a full-on fight here. That's why they don't even try to go for the temple right now. We have a slight rotation as Billy is trying to claim the experience here. Top lane is getting pressure as Lothair and Danatan are there, and Sonya is going for their own Night Camper right now. So overall, the Murkies kind of doing what was expected after they lost the bottom well. That's really one of the most crucial points on this map. If you can't tap and your opponent can, you will not win a sustained fight. They're trying to at least poke a little bit at this point. The experience alone is already heavily in favor of TeamLiquid, and they will head into the earlier level 10.
I mean, they already got down a fort, and Tassada maybe going to drop their Q, that is, and Abathur also died to Falstaff.
Yeah, Abathur died to Falstaff, but that's the end of Tassada now. So the only thing that the Murkies were trying to do here, they were trying to invade the temple so that they could soak the last few shots. That worked out, but it cost them a hero. It's also very interesting, by the way, to see that we have full damage now on the side of Sonya. Follow through and focused attack, both taken for her. So they really, really try to make sure that she gets maximum value and maximum damage out in these team fights.
Yeah, again, speaking of Sky Temple, we don't see any mule, but we see damage structure. So maybe picking up a mule here might have been better for either Tassadar or Brightwing. It's always a huge commitment on some heroes because you might drop important talents. I wouldn't see it on Brightwing necessarily, but I could have seen it on Tassadar maybe. They don't really need those additional persistent shields, and sometimes you really don't get 5-man shields with those. And at the moment we see Evil Murkies trying to go for the counter pressure. And Billy maybe getting caught here.
Yeah, they're going deep for this one with 5 heroes actually claiming at the
is
top.
So low.
But that's Falstad and he's about to go down. Tic Tac is getting jumped. Athero with a kill. Brightwing does not have a blink heal ready. Was still on
Shad
cooldown.
with the copy.
That's another kill and they are starting to go deep for those kills. Evil
Chris will
Murkies
get him.
way overextended and there's another Abathar mine. Goodbye, buddy.
And this also means boss for TeamLiquid, and with Lunara and the Nature's Culling, they might be able to even get another wall on bottom. And yeah, it looks really promising for TeamLiquid here. Look at the structures. The blue side has all forts up yet, and the red side only has 1 fort remaining, and it's getting exposed soon by some push of TeamLiquid.
It's definitely major value that TeamLiquid has been able to get out of their composition. They lost Abathar once, but now we've seen Shad soak temples on with Abathar alone, like completely solo. He can maybe even do that again. Sport Billy is currently taking another camp here. Bot lane has to be defended by the Evil Murkies. The boss is pushing in. Level 13 is around the corner. There's a double shrine happening on the map right now. There are so many things working in favor of TeamLiquid now that it's going to be incredibly difficult for the Evil Murkies to turn that around. We have at the top lane Tic Tac soaking a few shots, but he has to retreat. Mid lane is getting pushed. Lunara making her way to the top. Even Chris and Athero just poking some holes into the defense in the mid lane.
Yeah, Lunara is going for the poke on Fawcett here, getting a lot of poke. Even the Abathar had here, and oh, the last second shoot by Lotte. And Danatan might be looking for a catch here, but the slowing mine of Abathar.
Yeah, Abathar has another one right there. They're trying to go for him. This is going to be the fight once more. Athero tries to jump in. Double Lunara, as if one Lunara was not already annoying enough. They take the copy down though, but they have also the level 13 talent with the unfair advantage. The healing static already. The heals for Rhaegar with the tidal wave being reduced in cooldown, and they are going for the fight here. This is a fight that the Evil Murkies should not be taking.
The talent advantage by TeamLiquid here, and Aphero is already trying to look for a jump in with the healing static, and he pops his avatar, going for the fight here.
Need to be really careful, of course, of the mosh pit, and there it is! The mosh pit comes in! No stun on Athero, that's the problem! Lunara is dead. That was the one win conditioning this fight for the Evil Murkies, and they get it. The mosh pit is through. Bot lane heavily pushed though, and keep in mind, every structure that's taken down on this map is going to come back biting you in the behind later on in the game, since those temples attack the structures directly. So once again, the wall has fallen, a lot of pressure already on both of the towers, but at least for now, another fort has been destroyed by the Evil Murkies as they claim level 13 as well, and tie for now at least in talents.
Yeah, also if you look at any map, you always look for the boss lane. The boss lane in this, in Sky Temple, is the bottom lane. So if you manage to push a lot of structures on the bottom already and secure a boss later on, it will do a lot of pressure on your opponent and maybe even lead to finishing the game. So having the Siege Giant Camp, taking down a little bit of the structures and then taking the bot temple is going to shoot at the bot keep soon, and engage is going to happen now by
double Muradin. They're going for it. The copy is there. They go for Falstad. He has no chance of escape. No barrel roll possible. Just too much lockdown and stun. They're going straight for another kill. If they get a double stun off,
he was also getting
they could take
now.
the second one. Danatan is there, and this is looking absolutely beautiful for TeamLiquid once again, even though they lost that fight at the top lane.
Yeah, TeamLiquid playing really well here, and I would like to see them taking a little bit of damage onto the mid or bot keep now, or like at least the wall, and taking the shrine meanwhile, like with Lunara poison. And they decide to go for a more safe option. They see they will be level 16 soon, and they will have a lot of pressure with 2 levels up. So it's kind of a smart move to not like play overly aggressive, because that might cost them the game like it did last game.
Uh-oh, look at that though, to the right side. Arcane is taking the camp, they know it. Sport Billy is found out though. That could turn quickly. Arcane is still trying, and Athero decides to not go in yet. Abathar is waiting for his copy. He has another 4 seconds until he can use his heroic again, so they don't want to risk it. And they're so close to 16, they don't have to make that play.
They just want to play safe. After that last game, I can really understand them. They maybe could have gone for that move, maybe even won the fight there, but they're really trying to play safe and not try to lose as they did in last game. And if you're already one game behind and it's kind of your tournament life is on in this game, so they really don't want to throw it now.
Yeah. They want to play it super safe, and they have the healing static, they have now the dwarf impact, they go for that Chinese, for that Korean build. We're also seeing them with the Executioner taken on Greymane, extra damage for him, and they just burst through the top. Lunara getting so much value here, especially with the Nature's Calling, but Fawcett is flying in. He wants to have the Gust, and there it is. They go immediately for Sportbilly, gets healed though, and now Lunara can maybe turn around. They're going for ETC right away. He does have the Mosh Pit up, he can't use it. Nice save though, as Brightwing goes in to help him out here, but Evil Murkies are again on the back foot.
Shad just going for that one last third with his copy here.
Yeah, they have the level 16, they have the extra talent, they're getting the kills in, 8 kills against 2, again 2 temples up, and with a talent lead, they could be finally in a position where they can make that play. So TeamLiquid is looking very solid here. They need to be careful, it can always turn against them, but they are making, all the decisions that they make are really careful, calm and collected, because they know if they lose this game, then they are out.
Yeah, Evil Murkies are having 2 globals now, that's pretty important. They can check if the boss is going to be taken, they can deal with the easy camp at the bottom, and they also should try to deny the top temple, because the top temple would lead into it keep falling for the Evil Murkies here, since the wall just got taken down in that earlier push, and they're already trying to contest the middle here and trying to force fight before anything bad happens with pushes.
TeamLiquid also has another camp at the bot lane that will put pressure onto the keep, so the longer the fight lasts here, the better for TeamLiquid. 16 versus 16 talents at this point. Criterize is taken over the additional polymorph second, and right now, as you can see, Aethera is going deep. He already dodged ETC earlier quite nicely. He's trying to use the stuns. The fail pit already, as the cow is not hitting anything, and now Arcane trying to get at least a kill against Muradin. Not happening just now, but ETC makes sure that they get it. Shad with a copy on Greymane. They take ETC down. The cow is dead, and they aim for Chris, but he moves away. The copy also gone, which leaves 3 bodies in the fight for TeamLiquid. Brightwing jumping around once again, but look at Sportbilly. All that poison damage. Sonya is down, and Bambi is hopping to another kill now, trying to get Brightwing. Good blink heal, but Falstad is down, and Brightwing is dead as well. Oh, is she? Lotea? No, yes! Oh, Brightwing. That was very close. Really cool moves there by Lotea, but unfortunately in the end it didn't accumulate anything.
We see Shad taking the temple move ever, kind of funny, but already TeamLiquid trying to go for the bot keep here. They will take it down, and as we already mentioned earlier, the boss on the bot lane, if it's going to be taken at any point in the game, it's going to lead for core, and TeamLiquid is already looking as if they want to go for it, but it might be too risky, and they already decide to just not risk it. And recall at the boss.
Fight, Anti. I mean, that battle that we saw there, the mosh pit, of course, that was so decisive. When that didn't hit anything because they moved away, that was pretty. That was actually a fight-winning moment for TeamLiquid.
Yeah. Yet now looking at the top temple, it's still up, and looking at the red side top keep, it's kind of exposed, and taking that temple might even lead into taking the keep here. And Evil Murkies shouldn't really allow that. And TeamLiquid, meanwhile, really smart, going for the boss, and Evil Murkies, they just get out-rotated at the moment, and with the copy on Shad, on Greymane, it's just way too easy to take that down, and now it's looking as if TeamLiquid wants to go for the game-ending push with the boss here. Yeah,
they would of course love to have level 20 with that. If they get the extra talent, that would be just a game-winning moment for sure. They have to still be very careful. If Lunara gets hit by that mosh pit and nobody interrupts it, then she is dead within seconds. And Sportbilly is doing very well, already zoning Danatan out here. They know that ETC is going to look for a flank, and thanks to the Wisp positioning that we see from Sportbilly, they have clear vision of what's going on, so they can actually deny that for a long time, which allows the boss to go straight for the core. Again, Danatan looking for the flank.
Yeah, but TeamLiquid is indecisive. They don't really go for the core. The boss, meanwhile, is just getting poked down, and I don't know, TeamLiquid just... It felt like they didn't know what to do, and they were kind of... They just retreat now with level 20, and Danatan is trying to look for an engage here.
Yeah, I actually think they were just trying to play it safe because they were afraid of ETC sliding in the back and getting the mosh pit off. But now we have at least level 20s. It's once again in a 1.5 level lead, and they could still try and simply go for those shrines and get a bit of map presence thanks to the camps. they have now the extra talent. They were not able to put any pressure onto the core itself, which is of course a bit unfortunate for them, but they have Hive Mind now, the Galloping Gate, Rewind on Rhaegar, Hunter's Blunderbuss, which combos just so well with the level 7 talent here, and they see again that their camp is taken, but they cannot invade yet because Lunara is also at the bottom taking a camp. We're seeing Rhaegar looking for a moment as if he would go for the night camp here, but they will take the additional shots from the temple up at the top lane.
Yeah, it maybe won't be enough for the keep in the end, because Sassada might shield it a little bit, and one shield is always a little bit less than one shot, I think, and I don't think it's going to go down, and at some point TeamLiquid might just simply rotate up there and trying to go for Lunara Nature's Culling poke onto that, and the moment it looks really good for TeamLiquid, but if you think about that 2-minute rule again, next temples are going to be in 2 minutes, and it might not be a double temple, but only a single temple situation, and Evil Murkies will have another chance of winning the game at that point, and the boss also has a long cooldown now.
One of the problems is also for TeamLiquid that now level 20 has been hit by their opponent. So the Evil Murkies are on the same talent again. Falstad using the Ebon Mount to fly away, and that was a crucial moment here. If Falstad dies, then it is more or less game over. But now we have Ignore Pain. We have the two of us again. TeamLiquid, their pick on Lunara paid off so far. She got a lot of damage, and all that poison definitely gives Brightwing and Tassadar quite a lot to deal with. Makes it very difficult for him to heal it out. But it's now 20 versus 20, and TeamLiquid is in the better position. They have taken down a keep. They nearly were able to take the second one too. But this is still all coming down to the next temple phase, to another fight, to maybe a backdoor attempt here too, depending on the play. So this game is not over by any means just yet.
Yeah, TeamLiquid, if you look at the map, nothing is up. No camp. Okay, now the enemy siege camp spawned, but they really don't want to risk anything here. They just want to sit back and try to not die now and force a fight, so they will just wait for the next bosses, the next temple situations, and try to win with those, because you don't really want to risk a fight now, because 60-second death timers, if you get wiped here, it maybe even cost you the game. And
guys, we have 50,000 hero damage on Lunara, whereas the top damage dealer for the Evil Murkies is Sonya with only half that amount. But they have a double support, of course, which also means that those two supports healed twice the amount that Rhaegar healed. So there's definitely a bit of a difference in that comp that is really showing in these fights now. It's a single temple at this point, and this could be a big one. Here's the Mighty Gust. They're trying to go for it. ETC's going to look for the mosh pit at this point, but once again, Sportbilly is safe. He's the crucial player here. Where comes the mosh pit? And what a mosh pit it is, but Muradin jumps in. There's no cleanse, and that's why the mosh pit is interrupted. Chris is going for ETC, zoning it out, and the double Greymane is getting value. Sportbilly is there. ETC now finally finished off by Greymane. Chris is going to try and join up with the rest of the team at Thero, looking for Storeball. Q is low. We have the stun as the heavy impact comes to pass. Brightwing is trying to keep them alive, but the kill against Falstad. Brightwing falling, and Anti, this should be game here.
Yeah, TeamLiquid just looking very good in that fight, and Sportbilly just chasing the rest down with his Galloping Gate, and with the Nature's Culling as well, there should be no problem in them finishing the game here, and they will tie the series to 1-1, and we're going to see an exciting and important game, number 3 for TeamLiquid and the Evil Murkies here.
I still have to say that Evil Murkies are making it very close. Like, in kills it doesn't look that scary, it's 16-3, but overall, if you look at the map and how this game went, one fight could have decided in favor of the Murkies as well. But Liquid, they are solid, and they want to force game 3, and they were able to make that happen. So let's go straight into the final map. Alright everybody, game number 3, the last one. Shire is the map, and at this point we're actually seeing the Evil Murkies going up against TeamLiquid, and we have bans coming in on Kel'Thas and also on Falstad. So once again the global presence that is being negated here by TeamLiquid, and they just barely came back into the series right now. DreamHack Valencia, we're not yet in the semi-final where one of the qualificants is going to be chosen, since 2 teams out of this qualifier are of course going to the offline final. But both of the teams that we are currently seeing in this match have pretty decent chances to make it to the offline event, the first regional final in Europe, if they can win this series now. The Evil Murkies was very convincing play so far, but TeamLiquid, of course, the favorite in the series still, and now they have another shot of making that play here. So let's see if they can actually make it work. Illidan is allowed, but we have a prioritization on the side of TeamLiquid going straight for Zul, which will help them, of course, with the rotations on the map. But we have seen the Murkies earlier on already with an Illidan comp, and now they have the chance to go for one again. So Andy, what do you think here? Are we going to see them again with the Illidan play, and will TeamLiquid this time be a bit more prepared?
I mean, Murkies already took the answer off me, right? They just go for the Sonya Rega again, and Sonya is a great counter against Xul. We've been talking about it earlier today, and I mean, it also counters out the Illidan. And if you pick Illidan on Dragonshire, where are you going to put him? In 4-man rotations? It's kinda risky. If you're behind in rotations, you cannot really go for the kills. If you are ahead in rotations and have, let's say, like a Calfast or something, who can wave there real quick and have a lot of impact in early game, then Illidan is a great choice, but most of the time not really. And on top lane, 1 versus 1 lane against Sonya, he's going to lose that one, so it's kind of a risky pickup here. So I think Sonya may be better on this map, and we have to remind ourselves, this is TeamLiquid. They're maybe going with the Vikings on this map.
Yeah.
It's not that great in the mid game, but especially for laning phase, Vikings are really great together as 3. And in late game, they're really great for getting the shrines and pressuring the dragon. So I would like to see Murkies maybe even ban that out if it slips, like if Liquid doesn't pick it now.
They actually banned that out in the last map, so I could definitely see a ban on the Vikings again, especially since TeamLiquid has been using the Vikings on this map already a lot and showcased that. But right now, the first thing that Liquid does is actually, they go for them early on because they are afraid of the ban. I am loving it. So TeamLiquid, first of all, secure Charism. With Rega taken, they are afraid that their healer options are going to be limited. And of course, from the get-go, they were kind of aiming for the Vikings. And since Charism gets quite a lot of value with Vikings being on the map, they pick them early on to make sure that they can get them, because the Murkies already showed that they are not afraid to target ban Vikings against TeamLiquid on Sky Temple, and this time TeamLiquid want to make sure that they get the hero that gave them so much value. And I feel it's really important to stress what you just said again. Vikings on this map don't necessarily give you the massive experience lead in the early game that a lot of people expect. Oftentimes they are played with 3 heroes to the top, so that you actually get access to one of the shrines more or less for sure, since you can play around the top hero. But later on in the game, they are going to be all over the place, and they get huge value for you. And especially after level 16, you're oftentimes trying to use the stun on Olaf for those flanks from the side to put pressure onto the backline.
Yeah, TeamLiquid has been known for playing some weird lineups on this map. There were lineups with Zagara, Chen, and the Vikings just to have like maximum lane pressure, because it's a really lane heavy map. And if you dominate your lanes here, you can go for the Dragon Knight much easier. And I think TeamLiquid maybe even go into something like that. They could also just play standard, of course. And Evil Murkies pick up the Arthas here. I don't really see it against Vikings, but against Xul it's really great, because Xul doesn't really have an escape against Arthas.
It's of course always a question if you prefer the Arthas over Muradin, I feel. And the Howling Blast can definitely give you a lot of lockdown value. I guess against Vikings you could think about going Trail of Frost. We've seen that talents already a few times coming to play. It's not really a standard talent on the hero, but if you're looking for a lot of lockdown and you're thinking about the team fights, you could actually lock down a lot of heroes with that. So maybe that's a bit of a thought process that they're using here. We have seen Arthas comboed with Greymane occasionally, so that you get executioner value. Same is of course true for the unfair advantage with Lunara, even though it's a bit less common. But the Murkies here definitely with a very beefy line already. They need still range damage, and we could actually in this case even see a Li Ming, which has so far in this game not really been played.
I could have also seen like a Dehaka just to counter out those Vikings in the end. I mean, alongside another tank. But giving TeamLiquid Muradin for free, it feels weird, because having Xul and Muradin puts a lot of pressure on the side of Evil Murkies. They have to have cleanse ready, or if Rega gets engaged, they have to peel enemies off him. And I see Liquid just picking up the Muradin here alongside with another damage dealer, maybe even the Greymane, and it looks really promising for them, because Greymane is really good against Sylvanas and Rega overall.
I feel like Muradin is more or less a given, I'd say. I mean, who else would you go for? I don't think that... Well, maybe... I like the Lunara.
With Lunara.
That's actually true. Stitches could be another good choice.
It's too risky, in my opinion. They don't have damage against Sonya if they pick up the Stitches here.
So I like the Lunara for several reasons here. First of all, you could have argued in favor of, let's say, a Li Ming, for example. But the problem with Li Ming is that she's very, very heavily based on, of course, her cooldowns, whereas Lunara gets constant poke damage in, which is great for her. We have additional poison also on Zul. Finishing heroes off might become a bit of an issue. They have to be careful with that, but that's where Vikings can already play a huge role too. So TeamLiquid has to approach these fights very carefully and really decide which fights they want to actually take and follow through. But the Murkies, as you already indicated, with a pick at the end that I didn't really see happening there either. At this point, I was ready to call Illidan just dead for this particular game, but they go for him.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, he's really good against Vikings. I mean, you can chase those little guys down really hard with Illidan, and I mean, I don't see him going for Hunt or anything. I don't really see it. I mean, he's not Yove, you know, but he's probably going for Metamorphosis. You can dodge the Bone Prison with it. You can do a whole lot of things here. And I mean, it's a really aggressive pick, but they have to be aggressive. They cannot be passive against those Vikings.
I'm still wondering myself if I like the Sylvanas as the only one, but she's great for the silence, and the value that you're going to get out of a Dragonite is crazy. And let's not forget that actually Sylvanas was one of the most decisive factors in on Cursed Hollow when Evil Murkies won against TeamLiquid, because they could carry the entire momentum of a team wipe, or like of a triple kill only, and also the boss into winning the game. So that was pretty brutal there. It's definitely going to be a super cool game right now. I mean, we have Vikings, Lunara, we have the Zul all of a sudden, there's Illidan together with the Sonya even. So guys, we're going to jump into the last map in this best of 3 series to find out which team is going to advance in the bracket at the DreamHack Valencia qualifier. The last map, ladies and gentlemen, the last map, it is Shire. And do we have a sick draft here right now? To the left side, we are of course going to swap that overlay in a moment. We have the Evil Murkies to the left, and in this case, they are facing off against TeamLiquid. The Murkies here with Q on Sylvanas this time, and we're seeing already Danatan on Arthurs. We have Tic Tac on Sonya. Lothair is playing Rhaegar, and Arcane is playing Illidan. To the right side of the map, we are currently seeing Chris on Zul, so already swapping roles here again a little bit. We've seen that yesterday in the first qualifier for DreamHack Valencia. We have Sport Billy on Lunara, Shad on the Lost Vikings as expected, Get Head on Karazim, and Athero as the main tank is playing Muradin right now. It's definitely going to be a very interesting game here, and there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of synergies, and of course in the early game in particular, with that Sylvanas, you can get a lot of value. Let's see how TeamLiquid can actually play this.
Look at that interesting setup of Shad here. He's trying to deny the rotations up to the top already with dismounts, and look at that, like that cute little Eric would just dismount Illidan here. Be a little bit annoying, but yeah, he didn't lose a minion out of that because he was a little bit lucky.
He is sniping the wave. He's doing the same stuff that he has done on Blackheart's Bay a couple of times already. He's moving into the wave. He sacrifices a Viking and is trying to take the pressure away from the top lane, putting the extra damage in. He is going to die on this one, but the extra damage that he puts in right now is going to result in Arcane having to play very carefully. Arcane moves onto the lane, takes the Viking down. Not a lot of experience, but now, of course, he had to give up some of the lane control. Shad really loves sneaky moves like this, and the only question is, did that really pay off for him?
I think it didn't do too much right now, but maybe if he gets some additional levels, like he will be able to do that. I'm interested to see what build he goes for. I mean, I'm kind of that guy who goes for wonky builds and goes for like the colorblind Vikings, as I call them, with like going triple Balog and triple red talents, which means auto attack talents on 13, 16, 20. And that can be really good with the, I think it's called Nordic Attack Squad on level 13. It gives you % health damage on all of your Vikings against a triple melee setup with heavy hit point pools. It can be really great here, and it really interested to see if Shad goes for a more normal approach or if he likes to go for something a little bit riskier.
I mean, he punishes basically with Eric the top lane every single time that Illidan moves onto lane. He's there to take over the shrine. So he's playing that very cautious. He has one Viking to soak and another one to take shrine control. So Illidan is basically in a spot where he has to be at 2 places at once. And to put additional pressure on, he's again moving into lane. So Illidan is just looking at this and he's like, FML, I can't do anything. If I move away to stop Shad right now, who's just sniping my waves, I am going to lose the shrine control. At the same time, the Vikings are going to soak. So Shad is playing a very crucial game. He's going to lose Vikings because of it. But it's actually pretty cool to see how he's trying to make that play. Look at it. He keeps him alive still, and he is still sniping waves. He's again there, making sure that with the pain don't hurt, and with explosive attacks, he's just taking wave after wave away. The pressure at the top lane is insane right now.
Yeah, really well played by Shad here. I mean, Balog is pretty fierce, as we know, and he's kind of looking for those plays right there. And in the middle, we already see Chris trying to cap it, and yeah, down at the bottom, like Evil Murkies just get a little bit of pressure and manage to get it back, but it seems like the rotations are just way stronger for TeamLiquid here.
I mean, at this point, this is looking really, really solid already for TeamLiquid, at least when it comes to the pressure that they're putting in. So at this point, if you look at the bot lane right now, we are having currently Q and everybody... Oh, Balog dying, actually. They're going for Arthas. Arthas is about to be taken out right now. They're jumping on him immediately, and they will get Danatan. Bone Prison locks him down. He doesn't have the escape. Up to the top lane by now, Illidan is taking over another shrine. And down to the bottom of the map, we have currently Tic Tac and Q trying to fight for shrine control number 2. But this is a really fun start into the game, Antti.
Yeah, they literally sacrifice Balog every time he's ready to get pressure on the top lane and get pressure on the shrines. And we already see Chris he's just trying to rotate between the lanes, getting a lot of pressure against the blue side here. And at some point, they might even get structures out of that. And oh, you see it! You see the level 7 of Balog? I'm happy now, Khaldor.
Yeah, they go for the level 7 here as well. Balog the Fierce with the attack speed as well. So this is a sick setup, and he's sneaking in again. I am loving it. Shad right now is putting the pressure in so hard, and he at the top lane, the rotation against Arcane could drop Illidan, and it does. Look at TeamLiquid currently making the plays here, and Shad, I mean, he is all over the place with the Vikings right now. This is really good Viking play on the side of TeamLiquid.
I love Shad after that game. I mean, that's so well played by him. I mean, you always have to talk about his team. They have a lot of pressure and can push a whole lot on the map. So if let's say TeamLiquid would get pressured now by the Evil Murkies, he really would just die with Balog all over again, and it wouldn't really lead to getting a Dragon or having the pressure on Dragon. But right now, look at Shad. That's also what I want to mention.
Well, first of all, sorry to interrupt you, but at the bot lane, looks like we might see a kill on Sonya. Yes, she is down. Great play by TeamLiquid again, getting another kill. And Shad, as you pointed out, or wanted to point out, I assume, is currently even taking camps.
Yeah, with Balog the Fierce and like the colorblind build, as I call it, like you can just take those camps if you play it well. You just have to move Balog around that only one or two hard camps can attack you at a time. He's kind of mismicroing that a little bit, but I think he's kind of busy on other sides. But I think he might take it down slowly but surely.
Yeah, he's taking the camp, so that's going to help. Illidan is currently up at the top lane, which is also not too bad for him. Yeah, but that being said, as you can already see, the bottom lane is getting attacked again, since now the Murkies at least have control over the two shrines, but they fall behind in experience. And it's mostly because Shad is just playing an absolute fantastic game on the Vikings right now. His Viking game is absolutely on point. Going for the top shrine, Arcane is forced again to rotate over there, which allows the camp to push the mid lane even harder. In the mid lane, Zul is protecting the Dragonite down to the bottom of the map. A fierce battle has already started, and we have level 10s early for TeamLiquid, which could secure another kill against Danatan, who's barely making it out of it because Ethereal is so low that he can't pursue. But Q, oh, he can tap just in the last moment and gets healed by Rhaegar.
And Shad with Olaf in the middle trying to get it, and wow, Chris with the block on the spear of Tic Tac, and Shad able to get Olaf into the Dragonite, making him a full hero by now. And I mean, really well played by TeamLiquid on all sides, and they already look for a level lead, and it will just expand further and further here. Just also getting the bot structures with Xul and Lunara now, and man, that game looks really great by TeamLiquid.
Yeah, I have to once again. I mean, I'm currently sounding like a broken record, but Shad is absolutely pressing me. The rest of the team, of course, really fine-tuned to really support him and make sure that nobody can help Illidan out. They put constant pressure onto the bot and the mid lane, but the value that Shad is getting out of this game is absolutely fantastic. That is top-notch play on his part. Syndra goes, Cindy has been used here and tried to lock down Ethereal. Muradin is able to move out the way though. And Illidan, went for the hunt. We have the hunt on Illidan here. Arcane switching up his heroics. He's trying to play the hunt now to be a bit more well on the map and get that pseudo global.
I mean, I'm just hyped for level 13 to see what Shad is going to take. I really would like to see him go for the Nordic attack squad. I mean, it's so great. You do so much percentage damage on so many melee heroes, and it would just complement them as well to get on 16 the Executioner. Think about it, they have Murden, and I mean, it really sounds dumb now, but Vikings do so much damage with Executioner. It will even out-damage any ranged assassin in my opinion, and just, I don't know. I'm as well a broken record, as you would say, and I have to talk about Shad because he's definitely the MVP so far.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, that's no doubt at all. But like, look at the rest of the team now. They're trying to get another kill, and that is Arthas dying once more. 4 kills against 1. Vikings in the middle. Vikings at the top. Vikings everywhere. And now we are seeing TeamLiquid move through the bot lane. They're going for a kill against Rhaegar. They're about to drop him as well. Great kill there, and TeamLiquid really has stepped it up from game 2 and 1 to here to game 3.
Yeah, Evil Murkies are just falling apart on all ends here and just getting another structure on the bottom. And on Dragon Shire you always say, if you get the outer ring of the forts, you're in such a fucking... excuse me, in such a commanding lead, because you just have a lot of map vision, map pressure, etc. And that's just way too important to get the Dragon Knights here.
Yeah, Illidan's at the top lane now. We have Giant's Curse taken for Zul on 13. Of course, the Unfed Vanish after Nature's Culling. TeamLiquid is really playing the hard out right now. They don't want to give up their shot of advancing to DreamHack in Spain. And right now they are looking very solid. But the Murkies, of course, they need to make a couple of things happen if they want to turn it around now. And one of the things that they could try and do is simply get a few isolation kills, maybe with that hunt on Illidan. Turning a fight into a numeric advantage, jumping on Sport Billy, and that's exactly what they do right now. The palm is good though. Gerd with a nice move, but it's not enough to save Lunara. She dies regardless. Very well played. Illidan is starting to be part of rotation, and Cindy is coming in too. They're trying to go for the kill. He dives deep right now, and of course the forts are all disabled. The heal on Arcane, and Gerd is somehow still alive. That is crazy. Is trying to tap, but still the structures are disabled. Thero in trouble. Gerd wants to help. He gets the heal in for a moment, and now the structures are back online.
Arcane has to be careful here, and Donatan also got slowed by the fort here, but they managed to escape in the end, and Lunara getting taken down. We had that earlier already. If you have Illidan going for the hunt again onto a minion just to go to the mid shrine and cap it, but Olaf being in position.
Shad is there. And look at him, he's already taking a camp, he's denying the Dragon Knight to the opponent, he's capping the Shrine at the top lane. I mean, Shad is right now everywhere on this map. He's losing Olaf, he's losing Eric, he's still taking the camp here, but he bought them time. And that was time that they needed to deny the bottom shrine to the Evil Murkies. He is playing the game of his life at this point in the qualifier here. I am loving it. But it is, of course, not over yet. And the Evil Murkies, I mean, they are really fighting back. They are trying so hard right now to especially put our Arcane in a position where he can have a bit of a bigger impact on this game.
Yeah, with the hunt on Illidan and Syndragosa on Arthas, we can already see like a lot of engage potential on the side of Evil Murkies, and they just have to go for an engage either onto Chris or Sport Billy. But if you engage on them, you always have to remind yourself there's Poison Over. And the more melees you have, which dive on you, the better Poison Over is, but Gerd on the bottom getting engaged.
Yeah, Illidan also in the fight right now. They're starting to jump in once again. We're having the palm being used here. They're jumping on Donatan. That could be the death of Arthas, and indeed it is. Shad is moving in. They have the 16. That's the stun on Lotea. And Sport Billy is close enough to continue with the hits and get the kill in. Kill secured. Vikings at the top lane. Vikings in the middle, channeling the Dragon Knight. They are getting everything right now. Shad is on the move through the middle of the map. Sonya is in trouble. Might even die. He is trying to escape to a well. Somehow barely touches it and is able to survive. Great play now by Sonya, but it's not enough to save anything here. Shad at the top lane, Shad in the middle, and the rest of the team is currently going straight to the bottom of the map.
I mean, every time Shad loses a Viking, it's for a greater cause, and we definitely see this in this game as well. And also those small moves like Olaf with the stun onto Rhaegar, they're just getting another pick off. Like, other people wouldn't have gotten it, but Shad definitely did, and this is what we talked about in the draft already. But Syndragosa are getting summoned there on Sport Billy.
Yeah, there's the Syndragosa, and Sport Billy gets actually safe for now. 16 is finally ready. Here comes the hunt. They're going in. He did not go for Lunara. Apparently he wasn't in range or something. Whoa. There's the palm. It's not triggered though. Oh, the heal gets still saving Lunara, but it was a double kill against them with Muradin and also Zul dying. But let's not forget about the Dragonite in the middle of the map trying to go for keep, and at the top lane, Shad is going through the wall. They have a 2-level lead right now.
The Dragonite is going to expire now, so they will not end up getting the keep here, but still pretty impressive. And I mean, they just have to maintain their keep at the bottom. I feel like that Muradin and Zul being down might lead to the keep dying here, and I mean, like Sport Billy is trying to poke Donathan as much as he can, but they still will end up getting the keep here before Liquid got there first. And Billy getting engaged here, and Gap as well.
Play again though. Billy is down. That's an issue. The Vikings have to move back. And the Evil Murkies, they get the value out of Sylvanas once again. This is what won them the game on Cursed Hollow. And that was a very solid push. They just at some point decided to not play the game of TeamLiquid anymore. They said, we are not going to follow and try and chase you the entire time. We're going to take the initiative right now with Syndragosa, with Sylvanas. We have the disable that we need to really take down your structures, and that's what they did. And that is actually a very nice wake-up call for TeamLiquid, because they're playing an amazing game, and they are ahead, but they have to be very careful, because they can still lose this match.
Yeah, one more wipe, and they're down. Like, their bot keep is exposed, and I mean, they just have to not give up a Dragonite and not lose the fight really hard, so they just have to get their 20s now, try to make a play for the next Dragonite, and look at the mid keep, it's kind of low, and if they would just go for that one with the next Dragonite, Liquid that is, they might even be able to secure the game, but if it turns out for Evil Murkies that they get the Dragonite, they just could go straight through the bottom, go for the core and win the game and make the upset happen.
Yeah, right now we're having close to 20. TeamLiquid, they are about to lose Shad. Yeah, are able to save him actually, just barely. But now can they maybe turn it around and start or reinitiate that fight? At the top lane, Balog is still pushing out the wave. That's going to secure them the experience that they need for the next talent level. And that's going to be amazing for them. It's an entire level lead, and we have only 10 seconds until the Dragonite is back on the map. And that might be a winning Dragonite already. Here come the 20s. Mortal wounds have been taken. Big talent here. The peaceful repose. Checkpoint reached even. We're seeing Rewind and the Galloping Gate. This is the moment where TeamLiquid could maybe decide it in their favor and advance to the next round.
In the middle. Oh no. Evil Murkies with a misplay here, and that could be even game, level 20 and the Dragonite here. The hunt going onto the Dragonite already, they know that they have to go for it. Shad should just go back a little bit as he does now, and just wait for his team, and at the bottom, Q just getting taken down, and Evil Murkies falling apart like that.
Sylvanas is down, the Dragonite is going straight through the middle of the map at this point, and this looks like it might be the end. Once again, Syndragosa could be used, they're going in, the keep is down, keep Lunara in mind with the Nature Sculling, so much damage at this point, they're trying to go for it. Eric is dead, there comes Lunara once more, the Dragonite is gone though, Rhaegar's about to fall, Rhaegar is still alive, they didn't finish him off, there might be a massive mistake, but Sonya at least dies. And this should be the end of it.
Illidan is still alive, so they could maybe go for something, but Illidan dives deep. There's no Ancestral left, and it just looks really bad. And Arakin is going to get bursted here, and Donathan, I don't think he can save it, and he will end up falling as well. And Lothair is also looking as he would go down. And this is game. They take it, and TeamLiquid turns it around. They win with a 2-1, and an amazing play by Shad on the last map here. Congratulations to TeamLiquid, they advance to the next round of the DreamHack Valencia qualifier.